we'll say good afternoon to everyone, but unfortunately it wasn't a good afternoon for us. We came up on the other end where we lost, and it was a tough loss for this team, for the coaching staff, and also for the university. I'm proud of our young men on how they competed throughout the season. Obviously they wanted another outcome. They want to continue to keep playing throughout the tournament. I feel that, throughout this season, with the adversity that we've been through, I think we grew from it. And no, I really trust we did grow from it. And I wouldn't want to be with any other group but this group of young men that I'm so proud of. Neither one of them from day one has ever pointed the finger at one another or blamed this guy, that guy, or the coach. I'm so proud of how we always talk about being a family, and family was truly tested today and tested throughout the season. So with that, I'll turn it over to the questions for the players.
Questions for
It's a big three at the end of the first half. You got some momentum. How'd you feel coming out of second half, and what went wrong that all of a sudden the thing unraveled on you?
In the second half you're speaking of?
Yes.
Oh, well, in the second half, Hunter touched on some of it, where I felt we pressed a little bit too much as far as wanting to make, the play individually. And that, of course, allowed Rutgers to, capitalize on either some rush missed shots or turnovers. But overall, like in the second half, offensively for us to be able to only make 4 shots and shoot 4 for 21, and then you also add the turnovers and then offensive rebounds. It was just a rough second half for this group, and at times we got a little out of characteristic as far as what we do, and stick to just keeping it simple like we did in the first half. Yes, they doubled, the post, but, we've been in the situations before all season long where they've doubled and we've made simple plays out of the post. And I'm not just, please do not get this wrong here. Don't think that I am blaming anyone. I'm just saying overall as a team, we could have done a better good job of just being patient and making a simple play.
Third row in the middle.
2 weeks ago, you went to Jersey Mike's Arena and beat Rutgers by 13. Obviously, a different result this time out. What did you see differently from Rutgers this time out?
Well, second half defensively for us, we didn't do a good job of keeping the ball in front. I will also say this too, that there were some open shots by them that they made where they were uncontested. Last time we played at Rutgers, we pretty much contest the vast majority of any shot that was taken, and also did a really good job of protecting the paint. The offensive rebounds, I would also add to that as well. Hunter touched on it earlier. 8 offensive rebounds in the first half, 4 in the second half, getting them extra possessions. When we went to Rutgers, we were the aggressor and we won the rebounding game, and we also did a really good job of keeping them off the glass. So that's why I saw was the big difference compared to the first time we played.
We'll go to the far left, second row.
Juwan over here. There was a timeout early in the second half. You were telling your guys to keep your heads up. And Hunter mentioned it, the sort of deflating feeling there early in that stretch. Did you feel the energy level just was an issue? And why do you think that was?
Yes. Well, everyone, really cares about, what happens in the outcomes of the ball game. And that's a beautiful thing to have when you talk about, the entire team dialed into, giving to each other and want to see everyone succeed out there on the floor and love and to have the outcome in our favor. And then, you notice in timeouts and you see that, some dejected, unhappy young man, and it's an early part where it's, maybe 10 minutes left or 7 minutes left in the ball game, and I think it's my job as a leader to uplift them and encourage them because I saw the looks on their faces, and I've done a pretty good job of reading people, and those young men that I've been around, I've been in practice with them every day. Been in the game situations, whether it's pressure moments or whether it's where we are leading by a lot of points. I know them, and that's the energy that it made me feel hurt for them, but at the same time, I wanted to uplift them.
We'll go to the middle, third row.
Coach, what can you say about Rutgers' performances on both the offensive and defensive side of the ball?
Well, I mean, it's documented that Rutgers is one of the best defensive teams in the Big Ten, and also as well as in the country. One of the things that they're missing, obviously, is one of their players, key players. But then overall, you have to, give, Steve and his staff a lot of credit on how they have fought through adversity, just like we have. And he's also been a great leader, to his team and his coaching staff. But one of their biggest strengths, and they lay their hat on, is playing with effort and playing with toughness. And so that's one of the things that we've always emphasized when we game plan versus them, is that you're going to get a team that's going to play hard every possession. And that's led by Cliff, their starting center. Their team feeds off his energy. And as you can see in the second half, he was very active out there, contesting shots, blocking shots. His presence in the middle, affected us.
We'll go to Dana in the third row and then finish with Andrew.
Juwan, you mentioned that they were pressing a little bit. There was a lot potentially riding on this particular game. Do you think that they felt that at some point?
Well, I mean, this world is, is surrounded by, so much information, and the information can be delivered to you instantly. And I call it a microwave world, because, not only that there's so much information out there, that our young man is able to see it, read it, and, they understood the magnitude of this game, and they've heard it so many times from, media or whether social media, how, every game's important and what lies on it and what your fate will look like if you can move forward to advance to the, NCAA tournament. And Rutgers was aware of their situation as well, because, so we all knew it was going to be a big game. And every game that pretty much we face has been big games. And I'm just so proud, and I say it again, of how our guys competed all year. Yes, we have a young team, but we do not make excuses. That's how you grow, by getting the opportunity. And we've had, 4 freshmen that start, and Kobe being one of those 4 freshmen because he didn't play last year. We also had, Terrence Reed, who's another freshman that comes off the bench, and he gets, a lot of minutes as well. So this is a growing opportunity for our young men. I think they grew up a lot this year. Yes, they want to continue to keep playing. I want to see them playing. I want to be out there coaching them in the postseason. But we'll come back home. We'll talk about what's the plan for the future, and we'll go from there.
We'll finish with Andrew in the second row.
Ron, I was going to ask, what are your hopes for the postseason?
I just said it. We'll talk about it when we get home.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.